I was just a maid in the palace, invisible to everyone, until the crown prince snuck into the kitchen and whispered, "Meet me at midnight." My heart raced as I found him waiting by the garden. "I love you," he said. But before I could speak, the queen appeared with guards and ordered, "Arrest her. She knows too much." As they dragged me away, he shouted, "I won't let them take you." But he didn't know the truth I had been hiding. I was 17 the first time I stepped into the Lennox mansion. Not as a guest. Not even as a person, really. Just help. One of many. Another brown girl in a white apron, pushing a mop, cleaning up crumbs, carrying trays. They never looked at me. Not really. Not until it was too late. The Lennox mansion sat on the edge of Charlottesville, Virginia. It looked like a plantation house from the Old South, white columns, long drive, always 2 security guards posted at the gate. It had its own rules. Unspoken things, passed down from the top. Stay quiet. Be fast. Don't speak unless spoken to. The Lennoxes were rich in that old, twisted way. Not new money. This was legacy wealth. Power that ran deep. Sylvia Lennox, Mrs. Lennox, to everyone who valued their job, ran the household like a queen. Her husband, Gregory, was mostly absent. He traveled for business, which usually meant he was in D.C. having dinner with someone important, or somewhere shady with someone he shouldn't be. And then there was Daniel, the only child, the golden boy. He was 20 when I first noticed him. Or rather, when he noticed me. I was just the kitchen maid. Up early, last to bed. I washed dishes, polished silver, and ironed napkins. I never looked him in the eye. I knew better. But one night in December, just after a big party, I stayed behind to clean. Everyone was drunk or gone. I was in the kitchen, elbow-deep in pots, when I felt someone watching me. I turned, and there he was. Daniel, leaning against the doorway. He looked unsure. Like he'd been working up the courage to speak. "I see you all the time," he said, low and soft. "But I don't know your name." I should have walked away. Instead, I dried my hands on my apron. "It's Marley," I said. "Marley," he repeated. "Meet me at midnight. By the garden." I laughed like he was joking. "I'm serious," he said. "Please." Then he left. I told myself not to go. I told myself I'd be fired if I even tried. But something inside me, something angry and unfinished, made me slip out the back door that night. Something deeper than curiosity. The garden was quiet. The sky was clear. Daniel was already there, pacing under the rose arch. "You came," he said, sounding surprised. "I shouldn't have." "I know. But I'm glad you did." I waited for him to say something stupid or flirty. But he didn't. He just looked at me, like he saw me, not just the uniform. "I think I love you," he said. I blinked. "You don't even know me." I know that I've never looked forward to anything here until I started watching you. You're different. I was about to say something, anything, when the lights came on. Blinding white beams from the house. Loud shouts. 2 security guards burst from the side door, followed by Sylvia Lennox herself, in a satin robe and heels. "Grab her," she snapped. "She knows too much." The guards were on me before I could move. They yanked me off the ground like I was trash. I screamed. "What are you doing?" Daniel stepped forward. "Let her go." Sylvia didn't even look at him. "Get inside, Daniel. This doesn't concern you." "Like hell it doesn't," he shouted. "I love her." But he didn't stop them. He didn't run after me. He just stood there, frozen. And that's when I knew. He didn't know anything. Not about me. Not about what I'd come here to do. Because I wasn't just a maid. My name is Marley Simmons, and I had been planning my revenge on the Lennox family since I was 13 years old. Because they ruined my mother's life. And now it was my turn. They kept me in the basement for 2 days. Not a jail. Not exactly. But a wine cellar with a locked door and no windows. 1 guard outside, armed. No phone. No answers. Just silence and cold air. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I waited. I'd spent 4 years planning what I'd do if they ever caught on. I didn't expect it to happen like this, not this fast, but I had backup plans. I'd left a folder with my brother Kevin, just in case. Photos, USBs, names, places, stuff that could destroy the Lennoxes if it ever got out. I'd told him to release everything if I went missing for more than 48 hours. So on the third day, something happened. Sylvia came down with her fake smile and a cup of tea. "Let's talk," she said. I didn't touch the tea. "I know who you are now," she continued, circling the room like a hawk. "Marley Simmons. Your mother worked for US. Briefly. Briefly." That word stung. My mother had been their house manager back in 2008. Loyal, smart, kind. She handled their books, their schedules, their messes. Until she found something she wasn't supposed to. $3.2 million transferred out of a donor account into a private one in the Caymans. My mom brought it to Sylvia. She was fired the next morning. Blackballed from every job in the area. Accused of stealing. 3 weeks later, we found out she was pregnant with my sister. 6 months after that, she was dead. Pills. The note said she couldn't take the shame. I was 13. And I remembered everything. "I want to make you a deal," Sylvia said, snapping me back. I said nothing. "You walk away. We give you 10 grand. Enough to start over. You disappear, and we pretend you were never here." I stared at her. "You think 10 grand erases a dead mother?" Her smile dropped. "You think Daniel's going to save you? He's weak. He always has been. He'll do what we tell him. Eventually." I let her talk. Let her think she had power. I needed time. By that night, Kevin had gone to the press. It was everywhere. Leaked documents, video clips, emails from Sylvia's laptop, things I had taken over the years, piece by piece. Proof of fraud, bribery, money laundering, and names, powerful names. The fallout was instant. By morning, the mansion was crawling with men in suits. FBI, IRS, people asking questions. They didn't know I was downstairs. Sylvia disappeared into a lawyer's office. Gregory flew back from Qatar or Dubai or wherever the hell he'd been hiding. Daniel? He came down to the basement himself. He had the key. I didn't know, he whispered as he unlocked the door. "I swear to God, Marley, I didn't know." "You didn't want to know," I said. His hands were shaking. "I love you. You don't. You love the idea of me. I'll help you. I'll testify. Whatever you need." I looked him dead in the eyes. "It's too late for that." And I walked out, past the guards, past the reporters, into the cold morning air. Free, but not finished. I didn't go home right away. After I walked out of that mansion, I didn't call Kevin. I didn't go back to our apartment. I knew there were still pieces moving, pieces I hadn't put there. The Lennoxes were powerful, and people like them didn't fall quietly. By day 3, the media frenzy was insane. News vans parked outside the estate. Headlines screaming corruption, stolen millions, political bribes. People were finally paying attention. But something didn't sit right with me. Daniel. He was too quiet. Too absent. No public statement. No interview. Not even a denial. Then I got a text from a number I didn't recognize. "We need to talk. Tonight. Alone." It came with a location. An empty church downtown. Midnight. I shouldn't have gone, but I did. I found him in the back pew, hoodie up, head down. He looked like hell, dark circles, bruised knuckles. "You came," he said. "You have 5 minutes." He looked up. "They're going to pin everything on me." I said nothing. My parents, they're lawyers, they're building a case. They're making me the scapegoat. Say I ran the accounts. That I used the trust to launder money behind their backs. Said I got tricked by you. Me? I nearly laughed. "They're blaming me for your family's crimes?" He nodded. "And they have fake statements. Forged emails. It looks real. My stomach twisted. I thought I was protecting you, he said. But they're burning me to protect themselves. And now they're coming after you too. They say you seduced me. That you were spying. They called you a threat to national security. That's when it clicked. The money wasn't just rich people tax evasion. It was political. There were names on that list that weren't just business tycoons. Senators. Judges. One sitting state governor. This was bigger than I realized. They want you gone, Daniel said. Dead or disappeared. I stepped back. Why are you telling me this? Because I'm done protecting them. I'll go to court. I'll say everything. But I need your help. Help with what? He swallowed hard. Survive. Continue up to the ending. Ending must be very dramatic, vengeful endings who made mistakes, including OP if applicable, use simple words all right. Here's the final part, the dramatic, vengeful ending where every mistake, including mine, comes home to roost. Daniel and I made a deal. He'd testify. I'd protect him. Not because I forgave him, because I needed him. He had access to files I didn't. Passwords. Voice recordings. Bank account trails that connected the Lennox family to half the corrupt infrastructure of Virginia. We went underground for 2 weeks. Stayed in an old rental house Kevin found through a friend. No phones. No credit cards. Just burner cells and laptops. During that time, the news broke wide. A grand jury was assembled. Subpoenas were flying. Daniel and I recorded everything. We built a timeline. Every wire transfer. Every meeting. Every lie. Then one day, Daniel disappeared. I woke up. He was gone. His bed cold. His burner phone smashed in the sink. I thought he'd run. I thought maybe he'd gone back to them. Until I saw the news. They found him in a motel room 30 miles out of town. Gunshot to the head. Police called it a suicide. But I knew better. He didn't leave a note. He didn't take anything. And the files he was holding for court? Gone. That was the turning point. I stopped hiding. I went straight to the federal building in D.C. I gave them everything I had left. Names. Accounts. A full statement. I told them about Daniel. About the fake charges they were building against me. I gave them Sylvia's voice from a recording I'd made the night she tried to bribe me. She said, "People disappear every day, darling. No one misses maids." That clip alone cracked everything open. Within days, Sylvia was arrested. Gregory tried to fly out of the country but was picked up at the airport. Their lawyers were indicted. Their accounts frozen. They lost everything. But it wasn't over. Because of the lies they planted, the FBI still questioned me like I was part of it. I spent 3 days in federal custody. They checked my story 10 different ways. Kevin had to turn over every piece of backup he'd ever saved. For a while, it felt like they wanted me to be guilty too. That's what power does. It doesn't go down easy. Eventually, they let me go. But not without a warning. Don't get comfortable. Daniel's death haunted me. I couldn't forgive him for being weak, but I couldn't stop thinking about the last thing he said, survive. I did. But I didn't feel like I won. The Lennox house is still there. Empty. For sale. Vines growing over the columns. Locals call it cursed. People who knew me back then ask what happened. I tell them the truth. I was the maid. The girl no one saw. And I brought down an empire. But what I don't say is that revenge doesn't fix what's broken. It just ends the story. Daniel made mistakes. So did I. I turned into something cold. Sharp. I stopped believing in love. In people. I became the kind of person who could bring down an empire. And once you become that, you don't go back. Not ever.